Welcome to this video lecture of Live Text Access, training for real-time intralingual subtitlers. This is Unit 4, Entrepreneurship and Service Competence. Element 3, Business Strategies. My name is Julia Borchert, and this lecture is about professional interviews with customers. The materials are created by Subti Access and ZDF Digital. This is the learning outcome. The trainee can prepare himself or herself to conduct professional interviews with customers and potential customers. We will explore the topic by means of looking first how to do a good preparation, a detailed briefing before the job, and in the end, how to do a debriefing with your client after a job. Let's start with the preparation. Once you have identified potential customers, the contacting comes next. What do you need to consider before a first initial call? Check all the previous activities of your customer on the internet. Check the website to understand their potential needs. Try to find out a direct contact person and number. Observe in advance the following facts. Calling around 9:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the afternoon is quite often a suitable time. Remember all details of your calls, like names, numbers, date, content, and the next steps. First, check if the call suits your customer, if you do cold calling, for example. Cold calling is a method of creating a business connection without any prior contact. What is your goal for the call? Get in contact. Present yourself. Inform them about a new skill or maybe a new development in your field or industry. And what are your key skills? Deliver a good opening pitch. The first step of the call is to introduce yourself. Some people advocate the 7-second rule, where you must introduce yourself, your company, and your purpose in 7 seconds, otherwise you will lose the client. After your short opening pitch, try to find out where your customers' needs are by starting asking questions with care instead of starting your presentation. Try to adjust your proposal, presentation, or services. Ask about their current operations. Ask if they would benefit from your service, and ask if they would be open for a follow-up call. Leave your contact details, and do not forget to put your address signature in emails. This can be programmed in your email program to always secure. Conclude with tact. And after the initial call, send a thank you note and a review. Let's take a look at the briefing before a job with your client. When you have convinced the customer to use your service, it's important to make a detailed briefing. You need to clarify every detail. When, where, how long, the budget, the languages, what is needed, what technical limitations, timing, partners involved, speaker booth available, and reproduction rights. Discuss with your client when the cost estimation should be presented, which output formats are needed, all technical requirements, what version of the subs is needed, maybe full text, slightly adjusted or condensed. What is the main objective of the event? Any need to adjust the live subs after the event? What does the client needs afterwards? A text, keynotes, or a script? Before starting, ask for special vocabulary available, or names of representers, or other useful things for your preparation. Talk about a possible testing or a rehearsal and if special equipment is needed at the booth. Try to discuss every little detail. For example, that background noises should be avoided, or the parking situation, security, registration, clearance of rights, such as exploitation rights or anything else. Now the debriefing. Before you dive into your next event, it's important to review the previous one with an event debrief. An interview with a client after the job is very helpful to improve yourself and to stay in contact with the customer and maybe to receive a follow-up order. Questions for the event debrief will better help you to get the feedback and valuable insights. Ask yourself and the client what went well and what was not optimal. Based on this analysis, areas for improvement can be determined. Record identified successes, lessons learned, and the next steps. And when asking what can be improved, possible answers can be, for example, the quality of the operation, the team constellation, the technical equipment, or the method itself. For a final and detailed identification of key successes and lessons learned, ask yourself and also the client questions like these in addition. How did we utilize technology at this event? Was it a success? What would you like to see happening at similar events in the future? What were some triumphs at the event? How can I replicate these successes in the future? Were there any setbacks beyond your control? Summary. You never know what will happen when you meet a potential customer for the first time, and that uncertainty can lead to anxiety. To make initial calls more comfortable, being well prepared is key. When you have convinced the customer to use your service, it's important to make a detailed briefing to clarify all details. And before you dive into your next event, it's important to review the previous one with an event debrief. Exercises. The exercises for this video lecture are in the trainer's guide and the PowerPoint file. Thank you for your attention.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, SUBT Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.